Well, we just got a look at Yakuza Like a Dragon's performance on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, and it's not great. In a stream over on Twitch, Sega Atlas's Zach Reese detailed what we can expect from the game, which releases on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and PC on November the 10th. He shared the relevant details at around the 146 mark, and I'll put a link in the description so you can go and have a listen for yourselves. But this is what he said.
What do you guys want to see? Is there anywhere I haven't been that you guys are like, oh,
yeah, you guys have any questions? Or anything you guys want to like see us demonstrate?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. That requires a reload.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to absolutely do it here. Yeah, we'll just talk about it. So here on your Xbox Series X, you have a couple different graphics options. The first one is normal, which is essentially giving you...
And that's what this is.
Yes, it's a 60 FPS, not quite 4K kind of deal. It's the best balance of both worlds. And then you can... flip to a prioritized resolution version, which is going to give you 4K, but drop it down to like steady 30. And then you have a prioritized frame rate that's going to give you. No, we don't have prioritized frame rate. It's those two options.
Just these two options.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's running at 60 frames per second.
Right.
So
it's normal or prioritized resolution.
So,
right.
It looks fabulous. Like this looks great.
Now, I don't know if you could make out what he was saying, but basically, Yakuza Like a Dragon runs at 4K 30 or 1440 60 on the Xbox Series X. So, and the 1440 60 is basically the performance mode. And for me, this isn't quite what I would expect for a next-gen console. And certainly, you know, if you look at all the power that's under the hood with the Series X, I would have expected a lot more. And it's even worse when we start looking at the Xbox Series S. It runs Yakuza Like a Dragon at 1440 30 or 960. Yeah, that's right. 900p for a next-gen console. Now, look, you know, 4K 30 or 1440 60 aren't actually that bad for this kind of game. And 1440 30 isn't actually that bad either for this game if you're playing it on the S. 960, though, that's what I would be expecting to see more from this gen rather than next gen. And, you know, it will be quite playable, but there's no denying that it should be a lot better. Personally, I would have expected it to be a lot better. I would have expected 1440 60 on the S, personally. So why is it running so badly? Well, Sony fanboys will probably try and claim that it's because the Series X and S aren't really that powerful. But come on, that's nonsense. And, you know, if the Series X isn't that powerful, then the PlayStation 5 is going to suffer from the same problems, only magnified because the PlayStation 5 isn't quite as powerful as the Series X. So let's not get carried away here. What's more likely is that the game hasn't been optimized that well for consoles. And, you know, as I say, it's not going to run any better on the PlayStation 5, certainly not unless Sega do some optimization between now or between November and March next year when it comes out for the PlayStation 5. In which case, if they do any optimization, we can probably expect it to run better on the S and the X by then too. And all I can say is, let's hope so. But does this actually tell us anything about the Series X and the S and their capabilities? No. No, I don't think it does. This is one game, and a game that belongs to a series that's had optimization problems in the past, especially on PC. And I'm certainly going to be interested to see how Yakuza Like a Dragon runs on PC this time round. Not to mention the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. as opposed to the series. Because if it runs this badly on the Xbox Series X and S, then it'll probably run like a drunk sloth on the 8th gen consoles, you know, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Even more interesting, though, will be comparing the Xbox Series X and S versions with the backwards compatible version available on the PlayStation 5 before the enhanced PlayStation 5 version is released in March next year, on 2nd of March. Because, as I understand it, we're getting a version for the PlayStation 4 which will actually play on the PlayStation 5, but without all the enhancements. Now, is that going to actually run better? Because if it does, that throws into question all this idea of having enhancements for the next-gen consoles. But anyway, look, it's all speculation at this stage. We know how it'll run on the X and the S to some degree, because as I understand it, this was a preview build. It wasn't the final build, but they have to be fairly close to the final build now, surely, because it's, as I say, coming out on November the 10th. But I want to see what Digital Foundry and others make of this, and I'll be interested to see all the benchmarks and all the rest of it. For now, though, I don't really think this tells us much about the X or the S. As I said before, is just one game, and we have to wait and see how this game does, how other games do, whether the PlayStation 5 compares, whether it doesn't, all the rest of it. I fully expect to see a lot of other games running a lot better than this, though. And if they don't, well, something's wrong, and these developers need to get their fingers out of their asses and try and do some optimization for their games. But anyway, look, that's me done. I don't know what you think about this. Let me know in the comments, and we can get into it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and lie down in a dark room, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.